Hello there, welcome to Fridays at Noon. I'm Michael Chen, the executive producer and director for this talk show series. Fridays at Noon is a bi-weekly lunch and learn series that offers education on professional development topics to the University of Denver employees. For more information and to view past videos, please visit du.edu/HR and click on the People Development link. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the show.
And bring your lunch.
And bring your lunch.
Welcome to another taping of Fridays at Noon. I'm Shannon Seals, a trainer in human resources, and today I'll be talking about one of the most popular online learning platforms in the country, lynda.com. So online learning is quickly on the rise in higher education. Not just for students, but also in the professional development of faculty and staff. And lynda.com is one of the leading online, as you guys already know, learning companies that helps users learn a variety of things. Software, technology, business skills, even some creative skills in order to achieve both personal and professional goals. All classes are taught by industry experts. It's hard to get that anywhere else on an as-needed, on-demand basis. They offer not only courses, but also bite-sized videos when you need a quick answer, and it's all self-paced. More importantly, lynda.com, as you guys are here to talk about, the entire library is now available to all DU faculty and staff. So here with me today, I have Greg Geeson, the normal host of Fridays at Noon, who has handed off his responsibilities for today, and Mike Hiskey from University Technology Services. And these two gentlemen are responsible for championing and making sure that lynda.com was available to our community. So thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Shannon.
Let's start with you, Mike.
Sure.
Why online learning? Why the big drive for that? And why lynda.com is the answer?
So what we've noticed over the past few years is that people are looking for training just in time. They're not looking to make a reservation to go and learn something 2 weeks down the road. People typically have a need, they have a question, they have something that they need to develop right now, and online learning delivers that video-based training very quickly when people need it. Now, lynda.com has been doing this for a very long time. I remember the first time I purchased an Adobe product for myself back in 2003. I got a coupon to take a Lynda class for that product back in 2003. So they've been doing this for a very long time, and we've been watching them as they evolve from far more than just software and application training to, as you said, business training, soft skills, everything from customer service and time management to how do I discipline an employee. You can find a lot of information in lynda.com about these topics.
Great. That's a great introduction to Lynda. Lynda was recently purchased by LinkedIn. What are your guys' opinions? Does that what benefit does that bring to Lynda now that it's owned by them?
I'll just throw out something, and I know Mike's got some thoughts on it too, but to me it adds a lot of credibility, like instant credibility, because it's, they're essentially saying this is who we're going to partner with. And now all the organizations around the country or the world that are working with Lynda all of a sudden see that. It's not only a great marketing platform, but it's it really is a way for people to utilize a similar type of service together. So that to me would just reinforced what we were going back and forth with and comparing other companies and who should we go with. That kind of solidified it for me.
Right. We had already kind of, I think, made the decision that lynda.com was the right answer when the announcement that LinkedIn was purchasing them came out. And I've always enjoyed LinkedIn's social-based professional development type of mentality. And I found a lot of value in that, and so I think it's interesting as the university is talking about professional development more and more as well, that there's this tie-in now with LinkedIn and back to professional development through video and online training. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how LinkedIn uses lynda.com to enhance that. This really is not just something that individuals do,
Right.
but how can they connect with a community of learners and then bringing that into the enterprise like the University of Denver.
And it also shows really how intuitive you and I were.
Yes, that's true. Were we intuitive enough to buy a lot of stock in Lynda?
No,
before
yeah,
that? I wasn't intuitive
Failed to
enough to do that.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Greg, what got you so involved in bringing lynda.com to campus?
Being an instructor at University College in the graduate school, and then being a manager here, putting on classes. I've always been a big fan of different learning modalities. That the best way to learn would be to use multiple approaches to teach around the same topic. Also, people have different learning styles, of course. And so, Lynda offers the one piece that we probably didn't have, and which was, the online learning at your own pace and all those kind of things, all the benefits. We're sitting out there, and what I found here, especially at DU, is that a lot of people, when I first came here a year ago, I worked my way around campus talking to managers and people about, professional development, and probably the biggest pushback I got was time.
Right.
People didn't have time to come to our classes, and it's funny because here we're teaching management classes in 2 hours, which is really difficult to do. So to be able to supplement it and complement it with online learning, is a big enhancement for us. And then I guess the last thing I'd say is watching these videos, I've been impressed because there's some of the top teachers or professors or even professional development instructors teaching these, and they use different concepts. Like in one case it's somebody teaching to the camera, in another case somebody's interviewing somebody, in another case there's a role play. And so even within Lynda there's a variety. And so once I saw all of that, I knew we needed to get on board.
I think you've brought up a great point, which is people can go to YouTube and find content
Right.
about all of these topics.
Mm-hmm.
And the service that really lynda.com is providing for us, or maybe I should be saying lynda.com, a LinkedIn company, every time I go there. But really the service that they're providing for us is that they are finding credible people to deliver this content to us. So in a very real sense, they are creating the material that's out there so that we have a reasonable assurance that a video that we find about a particular topic is going to have some value versus not knowing really anything about the person who is posting a video up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so it sounds like lynda.com really caters to a variety of learning styles, to when people have the time and when they don't have the time. Can you give me some examples of specifically how will faculty and how will staff use lynda.com?
Well, and obviously the first challenge is to make sure people know we have it, right? So people start to utilize it and play with it. I think on my side, the professional development efforts directed at faculty and staff, there's multiple ways. One is, we created the Colorado 14ers People Development Program, which will be the next Friday at noon topic, by the way. But in there, we incorporated lynda.com within many of the individual pathways, which are topics, be it supervisory skills, leadership, personal development, professional development, even inclusive excellence. And so by doing that, if people are in the professional development program and trying to get credit or trying to work through it, they're going to see all these Lynda options. So it's going to incorporate that learning with it. And I think when we teach our classes, whatever it is, we can incorporate excerpts of Lynda in the class for people to really get used to it and just feel like it's just part of the curriculum.
What a great
idea.
idea.
That's one of the things I know we're going to be doing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I think there's a micro and a macro extent to this as well, because it can be something where I plan and there's a professional or a personal development curriculum, but it could also be, you told me a story just a few minutes ago too about how you wanted to learn how to do something in Excel, and you were able to go into lynda.com and say, right now, really quickly, I need to learn how to do this thing in Microsoft Excel.
Yep.
And successful?
Yep, successful.
Very
in less than 4 minutes of video. Got my answer.
Very good, very good. So
Yeah.
I think there's giving people the ability or empowering people with that ability to go and discover what they need to learn and add to it as well. But beyond the workplace, as an individual, maybe there's something that I want to learn a little bit more about. And as an employee of the University of Denver, now lynda.com can help me learn. I have a hobby in audio workstation production, and lynda.com has tips out there about how to use electronic compression systems to improve my audio recordings. Well, that's pretty cool, and now that's a resource to me as well.
Yeah.
So it can provide just in time. It can also provide the higher level.
Yes.
Here is a body of knowledge that people need to get to, and here's I think it's just on a lot of different levels it works really well.
And what I like about it too is, the pace. Like, there are some areas that I'm a slower learner, like technology. And to be able to use Lynda, like even to edit this video, to learn how to do it over and over again so that I can get it down and I can go at my own pace and relearn, is a big asset to having it in areas that I don't have an expertise in at all.
Great. You stating that we'll be showing them to staff within some of the one-on-one classes that we offer, instructor-led as well. I had an instructor at University College show a bit of a lynda.com video this week already. So our faculty can also be using it in instructing their students within the classroom. So what a great resource. Okay, can you take a minute and just walk us through a little bit about how it works?
Sure, be happy to. Well, lynda.com is a cloud service, right? So it's out there in the cloud, meaning you can get to it from on campus or off campus. And you can also get to it from your Mac or Windows or Unix computer if you want to. But they've also got a lynda.com app that you can download for your Apple and Android devices. Kind of the neat thing about those apps on your phones or tablets are you can open up that app and then say you actually want to download the video. Right. So you can watch that video offline if you're commuting or something like that. You can play that video and make some good use of your time there. You can go straight to lynda.com and log in if you want to, but actually the login process is a little bit more complicated if you use lynda.com's website for that. So we're going to make a few links available. Look for an announcement in the internal news digest here next week. Very quickly, the website that you can go to get more information about logging into lynda.com is just go.du.edu/Lynda, and Lynda is with a Y, so Lynda, and that'll take you to a UTS web page that has more information about logging on there as well. Once you are logged in, you can search by a very specific question, or you can search by a longer topic. Maybe you want to learn about conflict resolution, or maybe you want to learn how to use pivot tables in Excel. So you can ask for things either at the very minutia level or at a higher level.
Yeah.
Lynda.com breaks content into courses, and then courses have a number of smaller videos, right? So you can choose to watch a 3 or 4 hour course on conflict resolution, or you can see those videos broken out into smaller chapters, if you will, that just in 3 or 4 minutes deliver, here's that tidbit that you really want. And then the other thing, and then I'll be quiet, that I really like about lynda.com is that all of their videos are 100% transcribed. So you don't have to just listen to the video or watch the video as it's going on, but as you're watching the video, you are seeing a transcript go back. So if there's any notion that I really didn't understand it and maybe listening isn't the best way for me to get this content, you can go back and you can skim and read exactly what's happening as the video is playing. And that makes it real easy to actually scan the videos for content that's important, right? It might be a 4-minute video, but maybe I can skim that transcription of the 4-minute video
Right.
very, very quickly. And then when I find the words that I'm interested in, I can click on those words and it'll take me right to that spot on the video.
Nice.
So they've really done a great job of
Wow,
making
that's
it
great.
very easy to either spend a lot of time and feel like I'm, investing a lot of time in this, or no, I just need to get to the answer to my question right now really, really quickly.
Great. I know that lynda.com keeps a transcript, so our employees will know what courses they've finished in the transcript and things like that. But how does it work if you're in the middle of a class and you need to stop? Will lynda.com keep a record of where you were so you can go back? Do you know how that works?
Oh boy, and just to prove that this is not a rehearsed presentation, I'm going to have to say I do not know the answer to that question.
I don't know the answer
I know
too.
it does. I know it does keep track of the videos that you've watched, but I honestly don't know if it's gonna, if
Okay.
there's like a resume button like on Amazon Prime
Yeah.
where I can say
Okay.
start where I left
Yeah.
off. But the video chapters are generally small enough,
Yeah.
right? It's there are no 2-hour videos on lynda.com.
Right.
There are 2-hour courses comprised of 24-minute, that probably doesn't add that. That's it. That's
Close
not
enough.
enough. All right, 64-minute videos that add up to that
Right.
course.
Yeah.
Right.
So as long as you do know which of those videos you've watched and which ones haven't, it should be fairly
Yeah.
easy to hop back to the
Yeah.
chapter.
Perfect.
But yeah, I don't know the answer, the detailed answer to that question.
Perfect. That was a great answer.
All right.
Greg, did you have anything to add to how to use it, or are you ready to?
No, I mean, just that on our website, the people development part of HR, we're going to have a tab, and you guys will have a tab. And there's my question, can other individual users, how do they get on really quickly? Do they have to go through our websites?
We also have another shortened link set up to get into lynda.com. That is go.du.edu/Lynda login. So LYNDALOGIN. That's go.du.edu/Lynda login. I'll give our editor a little challenge there. I'm putting a caption up for us.
He's pretty good at that.
All right, good. So you're welcome to go there, and you log in with your DU first name dot last name at du.edu email address, and the same password that you would use to check your email or log into Pioneer Web.
Yeah.
So it is integrated with our university systems in that respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we have to change our DU email, will it automatically change at Lynda?
Yes.
Because it'll be
Yes. The password, you mean? Yes. It will automatically
Okay.
change at Lynda. Yep.
Great to know. In looking for the answer on how it remembers where you are in the video, I recently watched the How to Use Lynda.com video, which anyone can search on Lynda.com, and it's actually, wouldn't you be surprised, very instructional on how to use Lynda.com. So
good.
I'd highly recommend taking a look at that video. Okay, Greg, are there any downsides?
This might be a downside to just online learning, but I was at a conference recently with all, professional development types who work at universities, and they all have different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And what typically happens is there's an initial surge of interest, and then it dips after people have played with it, and the novelty wears off, and then it kind of drops down to where many universities were challenging whether is this a good resource to maintain. And I think part of that's because, it's like getting anything new. When the novelty wears off, you start to use it more when you need it versus on an ongoing basis.
Right.
And I think that's what's reflected in it. But just knowing you have that resource always, I think, is a real sense of security. And so I think that in itself is valuable. Other thing is people forget that with Lynda, they're continuously adding new classes.
Right.
And so even
right.
though you feel like you've covered all the management topics, and that's why it's good to get on some of these, I don't know what you call it, not mailing lists, but where they send you reminders of the new classes that are coming up to really refresh all the different topics. And so it's important for people to stay in tune that way because it's never the same classes, it's always adding new. And the one thing I would probably like to see more of, and I know this will happen, is a variety of instructors. Because, for example, in the management field, there's maybe 6 or 7, 4 of those who are regulars, and then these other ones, and that's fine. But, I'm hoping that they'll continue to add new instructors just to keep it alive and just fresh from that perspective.
So you think we're going to see you teaching on Lynda.com?
You know, I actually did submit something, and I've never heard back. But at some point, I would like to do that.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. So I know that Lynda.com has playlists, and you can search management and look at their recommended playlist of management classes, for instance. But how can our staff and faculty use the playlists?
Sure. I think this is, playlists are a great tool and something that might even address some of that cyclical nature of people using lynda.com. Individuals can create playlists. I mentioned audio workstations a few minutes ago, and I've actually already started creating an audio workstation playlist in my account of videos that I would like to watch when I have a few minutes to sit down and pay attention to them. But then I can also take that playlist and I can share it out to other people that I work with. So I think one of the great capabilities that lynda.com gives us is, as a manager or a person who's having to, performance management, my ability to create a playlist of videos that I think are relevant to customer service, time management, conflict resolution, that I think my staff would appreciate or benefit from watching. I can create those playlists. I can share that playlist out to folks in my department, and maybe that's a part of personal development goals inside the performance management system. Maybe it's something where I just decide at a staff meeting, yep, we all need to focus on this particular topic for the next 2 weeks here. I can go out there, find videos that I think are appropriate and really deliver the message that needs to be delivered, and then ask my staff to look at those videos. I think is a great resource for performance management and just professional development and growth overall.
Thank you for the performance management plug. Mike was not paid extra for that. And Greg, can you talk a little bit about what playlists we'll have available?
You know, the nice thing about playlists too is you don't have to put a whole class on a playlist. You can put excerpts of a class on a playlist, so it gets right to, so if you're working even in a coaching scenario, you're like, you know what, I'm going to send you 4, excerpts in this one playlist just for us, that will help in the coaching process. I just thought of that now, but that seems like a great idea. So in our Colorado 14ers program, we've already created playlists for all the topics that are relevant, and I think I mentioned them earlier, but we've got a leadership 1 and 2 playlist, we got a supervisory skills 1 and 2 playlist, and we're going to give them the option of watching, 4 out of the however many there are, and then they get an extra bonus point if they watch all of them in that playlist. And so it's just an added incentive to use those, but we're going to already have those created from what we've seen are some of the better videos.
Great. And folks can find those playlists, links to those playlists on our website.
On our website, yeah, that's where they're going to be. And in the Colorado 14ers documentation, it tells you which playlist to look for. And then you can kind of go from there.
Great. And I know that I believe Mary Sue in UTS is also creating playlists for people who want to learn new software pieces, what classes will best help them with that. So it sounds like playlists will really help us maybe narrow down the content field.
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Okay, so let's get to the best way for people to start orienting themselves with lynda.com. Do you recommend they just dive in and play around? How should our population get started?
Well, obviously, I think the answer is going to be both. First off, get familiar, with it and play around and start to create your own personal playlist, just of the things that you're interested in, because that will then draw you back to it, separate of all the things we create. But I think in the long haul, to kind of coach yourself and create what you think is your learning development and find those videos and then create your own playlist that you can revisit. And then, the beauty that we've talked about is now you've got a documentation of what you've done, separate of all the programs that we're creating. So, I think you'd have to probably use both methods.
And I bet you can use those classes to beef up your LinkedIn profile.
I believe you can, or if you can't now, it's coming very, very quickly.
That's right.
The concept of badging,
Right.
And there are certificates of completion that that lynda.com will give you if you watch and participate in an entire course. I would certainly expect LinkedIn is going to take that concept of certificates of completion and converting that into a badge for your LinkedIn profile as well. Yeah, it's coming.
What a great relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, what else would you guys like to add before we wrap up? Anything else you want everybody to know?
No, I just say dive in as soon as possible. That's what I would say.
And I couldn't agree more. I think once you get used to that, I have a question, I don't know where to go. Oh, wait a minute, I should just go ask lynda.com.
Yeah.
And I think people will find a great deal of value in that process.
Okay, I will make sure Michael gets the web addresses that Mike mentioned in the credits. So if you can hold tight, you can have those in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much to Greg and Mike for being here today. Talk about lynda.com and enjoy using it.
All right. Thank you very much. It was great to be here.